and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. On the 1st of September 2018, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the India Post Payments Bank, an ambitious initiative aimed at making banking services available at every Indian's doorstep. This payments bank of the Indian Postal Department will work through its huge network of post offices and nearly 3 lakh postmen and Grameen Dak Sevaks. The new payments bank will offer a range of products such as savings and current accounts, money transfer, direct benefit transfers, bills and utility payments, and also enterprise and merchant payments. These products and services will be offered through multiple channels like counter services, micro ATM, mobile banking app and SMS using the bank's state-of-the-art technology platform. And by December 2018, all 1,55,000 post offices will be used as access points to provide banking services. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says IPPB will bring about a huge change in the country's economic as well as social situation by reaching every nook and corner of the country. Today in Depth, let's understand what is a payments bank. How is the India Post Payments Bank different from other such entities? What are the services that it offers? And how does it aim to revolutionize banking and digital payments in India? The India Post Payments Bank is a service that enlists the might of the country's postal department in expanding financial inclusion to the masses. As of now, it is available through 650 branches and 3,250 access points. The government owns 100% in IPPB, which has been set up under the aegis of the Department of Posts and will offer products and services through multiple channels such as counter services, micro ATMs, mobile banking app, messages, and interactive voice response. The India Post Payments Bank, launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, aims to make banking more accessible to the citizens of the country. Through the vast network of post offices, its objective is to bring the rural population into the country's financial system. At present, it has 650 branches and 3,250 access points across the country. By the 31st of December this year, all of India's 1,55,000 post offices will be linked to the IPPB system. Of these, 1,30,000 access points will be located in rural areas, taking it to a vast untapped market. IPPB also has permission to link around 17 crore postal savings bank accounts with its own setup.
इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक के माध्यम से देश के हर गरीब, सामान्य मानवी तक, देश के कोने-कोने तक, दूर दराज के पहाड़ों पर बसे लोगों तक, घने जंगलों में रहने वाले हमारे आदिवासियों तक, दूर किसी द्वीप में रहने वाले कुछ समूहों तक, यानी एक एक भारतीय के दरवाजे पर बैंक और बैंकिंग सुविधा पहुंचाने का जो हमारा संकल्प है, एक प्रकार से आज वो मार्ग इस प्रारंभ से खुल गया है। इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक देश के अर्थतंत्र में, सामाजिक व्यवस्था में एक बड़ा परिवर्तन करने जा रहा है। हमारी सरकार ने पहले जनधन के माध्यम से करोड़ों गरीब परिवारों को पहली बार बैंक तक पहुंचाया और आज इस इनिशिएटिव से हम बैंक को गांव और गरीब के दरवाजे पर पहुंचाने का काम आरंभ कर रहे हैं। आपका बैंक आपके द्वार, ये सिर्फ एक घोषवाक्य नहीं है, ये हमारा कमिटमेंट है, ये हमारा सपना है। इस सपने को साकार करने के लिए लगातार एक के बाद एक कदम उठाए जा रहे हैं।
As a part of the initiative, around 3 lakh postmen and Grameen Dak Sevaks will offer services and financial guidance to customers in places where banking facilities are not available. The Postal Department has a rural penetration of 1,30,000 post offices, almost 2.5 times higher than the number of banks in these areas.
डाकिया और पोस्ट ऑफिस एक प्रकार से हमारे जीवन का, हमारे समाज का, हमारी फिल्मों का, हमारे साहित्य का, हमारी लोक कथाओं का एक महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा रहा है। अब आज से डाकिया डाक लाया के साथ साथ डाकिया बैंक भी लाया है। भारतीय डाक विभाग देश की वो व्यवस्था है जिसके पास 1.5 लाख से अधिक डाकघर है। इनमें से भी 1.25 लाख से अधिक सिर्फ गांव में ही है। 3 लाख से अधिक पोस्टमैन और ग्रामीण डाक सेवक देश के जन जन से जुड़े हुए हैं। इतने व्यापक नेटवर्क को टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़कर 21वीं सदी में सेवा का सबसे शक्तिशाली सिस्टम बनाने का बीड़ा हमारी सरकार ने उठाया है। अब डाकिये के हाथ में स्मार्टफोन है और उसके थैले में, उसकी बैग में एक डिजिटल डिवाइस भी है। साथियों, एकता, समानता, समावेश, सेवा और विश्वास का प्रतीक ये पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक अब देश की बैंकिंग व्यवस्था को ही नहीं बल्कि डिजिटल लेन देन की व्यवस्था को भी विस्तार देने की ताकत रखता है।
IPPB has also partnered with different financial organizations to provide loans, investments and insurance products. It will leverage the infrastructure of Reserve Bank of India, National Payments Corporation of India and will use Aadhaar for signing up new users, thereby reducing extraneous costs.
IPPB में बचत खाते के साथ साथ छोटे से छोटा व्यापारी अपना काम चलाने के लिए चालू खाता भी खोल सकता है। यूपी और बिहार का जो कामगार मुंबई या बेंगलुरु में काम कर रहा है वो आसानी से पैसा अपने परिवार को भेज पाएगा। दूसरे बैंक खातों में पैसा भी वो ट्रांसफर कर सकता है। सरकारी सहायता का पैसा, मनरेगा की मजदूरी के लिए भी इस खाते का उपयोग वो आसानी से कर सकता है। बिजली और फोन के बिल जमा करने के लिए भी उसे कहीं और जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। इतना ही नहीं, दूसरे बैंकों या वित्तीय संस्थानों के साथ साझेदारी कर पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक ऋण भी दे पाएगा। निवेश और बीमा जैसी सेवाएं भी अपने ग्राहकों को पहुंचाएगा। सबसे अहम बात यह है कि ये सभी सेवाएं बैंक के काउंटर के अतिरिक्त घर आकर डाकिये देने वाले हैं।
The India Post Payments Bank has been incorporated as a public sector company under the Department of Post with 100% government equity and is governed by the Reserve Bank of India.
कि हमारे पास पोस्ट ऑफिसेस का एक बड़ा तंत्र पूरे देश में फैला हुआ है और 17.5 करोड़ सेविंग अकाउंट हमारे पास पहले से पोस्ट ऑफिस में थे। 17.5 करोड़ पोस्ट ऑफिस के खाता धारकों को भी इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक की अतिरिक्त सुविधाएं हम प्रदान करने में सफल होंगे। मैं समझता हूं कि एक अत्यंत सराहनीय और क्रांतिकारी कदम होगा। आरबीआई के नियमों के अनुसार इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक के सेविंग अकाउंट की अधिकतम सीमा 1 लाख रुपया है। ऋण देना या जीवन बीमा प्रदान करना ये हमें बाधा पहुंचाता है रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया की गाइडलाइन के द्वारा। लेकिन हमारा सौभाग्य है, इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक का सौभाग्य है कि पोस्ट ऑफिसेस का एक बड़ा नेटवर्क इनको प्राप्त है और यही हमारी मूल ताकत है। इंडिया पोस्ट पेमेंट बैंक के खातों को हम पोस्ट ऑफिस सेविंग अकाउंट से जोड़ेंगे और 1 लाख रुपए से जैसे ज़्यादा धनराशि होगी स्वतः पोस्ट ऑफिस के सेविंग अकाउंट में स्थानांतरित हो जाएगी। पोस्ट ऑफिस में भी जो खाते हैं उनको हम IPPB के खातों से लिंक करने में सफल होंगे। देश के ग्रामीण इलाके में लोगों को कर्ज उपलब्ध हो सके, इसके लिए हमने पंजाब नेशनल बैंक के साथ एक अनुबंध किया है और थर्ड पार्टी अरेंजमेंट हमने किया है कि गांव में रहने वाले किसान को, मजदूर को अगर कर्ज की आवश्यकता है, ऋण की आवश्यकता है तो हम उसे भी उपलब्ध करा सकें।
Before the launch, the Union Cabinet approved an 80% hike in spending on IPPB to 1,435 crore rupees, arming it to compete in the market with existing operators like Airtel Payments Bank and Paytm Payments Bank. The increase is meant to cover costs relating to technology and manpower. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Leveraging the vast network of post offices throughout the country, the government's intention is to make banking facility available at the doorstep of every Indian citizen with the help of a workforce of 3 lakh postmen. With your local postman carrying a handheld device that can capture a QR code or biometric proof of ID, people can expect to withdraw cash in the comfort of their homes after opening an account at the nearest post office using their Aadhaar card. What are the other services that will be made available through the India Post Payments Bank? Let's find out in our next report.
The India Post Payments Bank is like any other bank but on a much smaller scale. However, it does not involve any credit risk. Opening an account in the IPPB is also simple. It can be done through the mobile app just by providing details like your Aadhaar number with KYC verification. One of the most distinct features of the India Post Payments Bank is its doorstep banking service, which makes it very accessible. Through this model, banking has the potential to reach the doorstep of every Indian citizen. The doorstep banking facility will offer a range of services including account opening, cash deposits and withdrawals, money transfers, recharge and bill payments, third-party services like insurance, loans and investments, and other account-related services like updating PAN and nomination details, requesting account statement and issuing standing instructions. The IPPB will also offer RTGS, IMPS and NEFT services for transfer of funds.
After every third village is having post office. At every 3 kilometers there is one post office. And public is having more faith on post office and postman. So that will help to run this bank properly and efficiently. Its reach will be up to every man in the country, because post offices are everywhere throughout the country. So it will be very helpful those who cannot reach up to bank, and banks are also not available in so many villages. Banks are limited up to some towns and some bigger villages, but not in villages. Banks are still not serving in villages, but post offices are serving everywhere.
The many salient features of the IPPB include the lack of any fee for withdrawals made from its own ATM or any Punjab National Bank ATM, since it has a tie-up with PNB and other companies. The IPPB offers 3 types of saving accounts: regular savings account, digital savings account and basic savings account. The bank will offer 4% interest rate in all these savings accounts. It also offers forex services at lower charges. Unlike most banks, there will be no need to maintain a minimum quarterly average balance, and there will be no charges for the lack of a minimum account balance. The IPPB also offers a QR card service that will help one access their bank account and make transactions without having to remember the account number. Using the QR card, all transactions can be authenticated via biometric verification. The India Post Payments Bank also offers a free debit card with annual maintenance fee of 100 rupees from the second year. Using a network of post offices and the services of over 3 lakh postmen, the IPPB will reach customers without the traditional bank branches. Through the other banks or companies that it has tied up with, IPPB will provide third-party products like loans and insurance. In the absence of traditional bank branches, the IPPB aims to reach its customers through their mobile phones. That is why it has the chance to flourish among people who are tech-savvy and comfortable with technology. The IPPB will encourage anyone above 18 years of age to open digital savings accounts using their Aadhaar and PAN cards. The KYC formalities for such accounts must be completed within 12 months. Once the KYC formalities are done, the digital savings account will be upgraded to a regular savings account. As far as deposits are concerned, customers are allowed a maximum yearly cumulative deposit of 2 lakh rupees in the account. Post offices have also been permitted to link the 17 crore postal savings accounts with the IPPB accounts. The India Post Payments Bank will benefit those sections of society that remain outside the banking sector, like migrant laborers and low-income households. With the government allocating additional funds to meet the requirements of the operations of the IPPB, it is looking to compete with private payments banks. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
But considering the vastness of the India Post Payments Bank, there are bound to be some challenges that it will face. And these are not mere teething troubles. Burdened with the legacy of the India Post, the IPPB will take some time before it can turn a profit. Another challenge is the lack of tech infrastructure in the country's remotest rural areas. However, the government is confident it will be able to overcome these hurdles and the IPPB will be a successful venture.
The launch of the India Post Payments Bank has marked a tectonic shift in India's banking landscape, opening doors of rural India to endless possibilities in the banking sector. However, the mammoth government initiative does have some hurdles that need to be crossed that seem to be more than mere teething troubles. To begin with, the India Post Payments Bank is burdened with the legacy of the existing India Post. In the financial year 2016-17, India Post had a revenue deficit of 11,969 crore rupees, almost double of the 6,007 crore rupees deficit faced by it in 2015-16. As per RBI rules, all payments banks are required to invest 75% of their total demand deposits in government-linked securities and treasury bills, making it difficult for IPPB to turn a profit. However, the Postal Department is taking several steps to raise their earnings by providing services like selling application forms of educational institutions and recruitment agencies, railway ticket booking, facilities for Aadhaar registration and upgradation, passport services, gold bond schemes, etc. Shifting to e-commerce is also providing an added push, raising the revenue earned to 345 crore rupees in 2016 from 172 crore rupees in 2014-15. Another major challenge facing the India Post Payments Bank is its infrastructure, the biggest being in remote rural areas. With a plan to make the postman a mobile bank, it seems difficult in areas where electricity and internet connectivity are an issue. With 90% of the post offices situated in rural areas, this is a challenge that may need urgent attention.
Problem is only because of poor net connectivity and inadequate infrastructure and inadequate training to the staff. To run this CBS, more updated version of computers, ledger printers and other equipments in support of this, UPS, inverter, battery, because post offices are running in rural areas also, there is frequent power failure. So to run all these services without any disruption, proper infrastructure and basic facilities are required. For the success of this IPPB, this rural infrastructure should be strengthened.
The dependence on the postman, which is one of the biggest advantages of the IPPB, is also its biggest challenge, as along with the post, he will have an added responsibility.
Lack of manpower also. Department of Post is facing about 40% of shortage in manpower. The IPPB activities will also be run through postman, but there is acute shortage in postman staff now. So all postman posts should be filled up.
However, the government says it is providing proper training and equipment to all India Post employees and is set to beat all the odds to make this ambitious initiative a resounding success. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And time for a very short break on the program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. Post-independence, the Department of Posts had the huge responsibility of connecting every corner of the country. In order to keep up with the pace of an advancing population and its increasing needs, the government has, over the years, taken several steps to enhance the postal network and skills of the department. We leave you with this report that tells you about the reforms that have been brought about from time to time. Thanks for watching.
For more than 150 years, the Department of Posts has been the backbone of India's communication network. After independence, the need for providing communication had doubled across the country. In 1947, there were only 23,344 post offices across the country, of which 19,184 were in rural areas and 4,160 in urban areas. But with a rapid rise in population, the demands for post offices has also increased. In light of the increased pressure, the government has been taking several steps to improve the functioning of the postal department. As the reforms came, inland letters changed to speed post, and speed post has now become e-post. In the year 1879, postcards were introduced, while the Indian postal order came in 1930. For faster and precise delivery, the postal index number or PIN code was introduced in 1972. In 1977, the Department of Posts introduced the Value Payable Post or VPP, parcels and insured parcels. A rapid demand and increased stress on communication led to the division of the India Post into the Department of Posts and the Department of Telecommunications in 1985. The very next year, in 1986, speed posts were introduced. By 1994, you could send money to your loved ones living in other parts of the country through money orders. Post-independence, the Indian postal network expanded over 7 times. However, postal reforms continue even today. Recently, the government has taken several steps to strengthen the postal department. Project Arrow was introduced in April 2008. The project aims to create an effective, friendly environment for staff and customers, providing secure IT services and improving mail delivery, remittances, both electronic and manual, and postal savings plans. Then the Mail Network Optimization Project or MNOP was implemented with the objective of consolidation and optimization of the mail network of the Department of Posts with a view to improve quality of operations. Services such as all kinds of letters, speed post, registry and parcel, along with track and trace facility for money orders have been expanded and improved. According to government data, more than 27,215 post offices and administrative offices have been linked to the Wide Area Network or WAN. New services such as express parcel, business parcel, cash and delivery, online money transfer service, instant money order and e-greeting have also been added. A mobile app has also been launched. The latest reform is the launch of the government's ambitious India Post Payments Bank on the 1st of September 2018. Today, one can easily spot a GPS-enabled post office vehicle on the streets. The Department of Posts has also started the initiative of postal delivery through GIS mapping in select cities. With an objective to leverage the strength of the vast postal network, the Department of Posts has also started retailing mutual funds and bonds. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.